Valorant's newest map, Fracture, is out, and with new maps comes new guides. That's what you're here for, so let's not waste any time and go over some of the best setups for Astra on attack and defense. I'm Chill, and let's get right into it. We'll start out on defender side. As a defender, there will be a few strategies you can utilize to prevent attackers from using their pinch effectively. I will show you a default and alternative setup for each site on attack and defense, as well as some split site setups. Keep in mind you can mix and match some of these setups to suit your needs. These are just some guidelines to get you started. On A site, we'll use 3 smokes, a concuss, and gravity well, or suck if you watch Hiko streams. When defending from site, we can use a smoke for A drop, preventing attackers from jumping through, and if they do, we have a concuss or gravity well waiting for them. Next, smoke A rope, and for spike plant, we can use a super strong gravity well that'll work above or below site and expose the planter. If you suspect attackers coming from A main, we can use this smoke. For our alternative setup, we're going to use smokes for a mid flank and A dish push. I love this gravity well for A door because attackers cannot see it until they open the door, as you saw me do in the beginning of the video. What's so strong about it is you can use the audio cue of the door to activate the gravity well and then peek. In most situations, you almost always want to place a star here. Attackers will already be hesitant to open the door, but now they'll be even more hesitant. Next, we'll place a couple smokes at A rope and A link if we suspect a mid flank to site. This concuss will displace anyone holding this corner on site and can be used as a gravity well to pull planters into view. If you want to play a little further up at A dish, we can place a smoke here and watch for the orb play. Moving on to B site, we can again use 3 smokes and a combination of concuss and gravity well stars. Starting with the B tower star, place it right at ropes to prevent attackers from taking the height advantage. Smoke B canteen for the mid flank and B main. Use the gravity well and the stairs here to pull planters off of the dice default. I think the main default spot will be in the cubby on site since it's not wall bangable, but this will prevent attackers from planting quickly on site. Finally, we can smoke the B arcade lane, which honestly works well for attack and defender side. You'll find that a few of these smokes on Fracture can be used for both attack and defense depending on the situation you're in. On to the alternative setup for B. We have smokes which will prevent a mid flank and allow defenders to push up a little further to gain info and take the orbs. Orbs may play a huge role on this map due to there being 4 of them. We're going to use both a concuss and gravity well for planters, making it very difficult to plant safely. You can use a gravity well on either side of dice to pull planters off. Be careful with orb smokes because Astra's smokes are on the smaller side, and if not placed correctly, you can have some gaps that the attackers may take advantage of. Now let's look at some split site setups. If your team lacks smokes or utility for this map, you may need to use your utility so it covers some of the hotter spots across the map. For an A dominant star setup, we'll use these star locations. We'll use a concuss for B tower and smoke for B main, as these 2 spots may be the more likely areas of attack. On A site, we'll suck the planter into the open, smoke A main, and suck the door for an A main push. For a B dominant setup, we'll use the standard 3 smoke, suck, and concuss setup. Smoke A drop and always use the gravity well on A door. Moving over to B site, we'll smoke for the orb and retreat back to B tower. Concuss site cubby and smoke B main. If nothing is A, don't forget to recall your stars. That just about covers your bases for defense on Fracture. Now let's look at how attack setups work. Starting on A site, we'll have a setup that should look a little sus. That's because it's basically the same as defense. Like I said, some of these setups can be interchangeable between attack and defense. If we're attacking from A hall as we move through a door, concuss rope. This will allow you to advance into the rope area a little bit more safely. Smoking rope into site, we can further push into rope for the height advantage while smoking A drop. If teammates are pinching from A dish, we can smoke A link to give them more breathing room to push onto site, or hold A drop for post plant. Again, gravity well the top of site for post plant. Coming from A dish, we have a more suck/concuss heavy setup. We'll concuss the ledge on A drop, which will allow us to take full control of this area and give us the high ground advantage coming into site. Smoke ropes to allow your A hall teammates to push into rope. Suck anyone holding the drop angle from A link and place that second suck on site as always. For post plant, you can hold A dish and peek off of the suck. Just watch for defenders flanking through A gate. On B attack, we have a setup I like to call the reverse L because this setup will almost guarantee a W. I'm not very good at jokes, but if you chuckled, then it was worth it. Okay, start by smoking the cross, which will block vision from arcade and link to give you a smooth push into sight. Concuss the corner by generator and suck the cubby on sight to weed out any defenders in these spots. If you plant default dice, you can place another gravity well here for the post plant. This last smoke can be used to either push into sight or play post plant in several different scenarios. For the alt B setup attacking from B bench, start by smoking the tunnel to grab orb and move through arcade to sight. Concuss that generator corner for your teammates coming through the opposite direction and smoke B link. You can plant on either side of the site cubby and place a suck to pull off diffuser. This last smoke can be used in different areas for some cheeky smoke plays in tower or to block off another entrance to site like B canteen for example. Finally, we have our last two setups which split both sites. For an A dominant setup, we'll smoke some of the more effective choke points and use our suck and concuss on the default plant spots. Start by smoking A drop to advance into site, smoke A link from mid, and plant bottom of site with the suck on top. Over on B, we'll use the cross smoke for as much coverage as possible and a concuss for the cubby corner. For the B dominant setup, we'll use 3 smokes, a concuss, and suck. Start by smoking A main and concussing close left corner of site. Over on B, move into sight from either side with these 2 smokes at B link and canteen and leave a suck for sight cubby. That's going to complete the setups for Astra on Fracture. I'm still learning myself how to best utilize Astra's utility on this map since there are so many different ways it can be played. I think Astra mains will have a really fun time on this map and I look forward to seeing how she's used at the highest level. If you enjoyed this video, hit that good looking sub button, drop a like, tell me why Riot continues to ruin the game with these map gimmicks, and have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.